Welcome to Quantumly Kinky with Dr. Veda, where we talk about sex, Eastern medicine, and character development for the multidimensional you. Episode 53, Sexual Vitality Isn't What You Think, the missing health signal that everyone puts last. Welcome back to Quantumly Kinky, where modern sexuality meets ancient medicine, and every episode helps you to rewire your body for more pleasure, power, presence, and turn on. I am your host, Dr. Veda, and today I want to talk about something that modern life has quietly taught us to treat like a luxury, and that is sexual vitality. Not sex as performance, not libido as a scorecard, and not whether you're doing enough in your relationship. I'm talking about something much deeper. Your body's ability to remain responsive to pleasure, sensation, intimacy, desire, and life itself. Because somewhere along the way, many of us absorbed the belief that this part of our health belongs at the bottom of the list. We make time for the workouts, we make time for our career, we make time for the appointments, the hormones, the family, the healing work, the responsibilities. And the very part of us that softens, opens, receives, and feels deeply alive gets pushed further and further and further into the background. Until one day, we hear ourselves saying things like, yeah, I just don't really think about sex anymore. Or, yeah, I feel pretty disconnected from my body. Or maybe even, I don't know what I even want anymore. And what I need you to understand today is that this is rarely superficial. From a medical perspective, the loss of sexual vitality is often one of the earliest and most intelligent ways that the body communicates depletion. Long before the labs change, the body will whisper through responsiveness, through the subtle places, the loss of anticipation, the sense that your body no longer feels like somewhere you want to spend time. Maybe even the dryness that wasn't there before, the numbness, the lack of sensation, or the inability to transition from stress into pleasure. And this is often why I say in my clinic that sexual vitality is not performance. Sexual vitality is responsiveness. It's the body's ability to move from vigilance into receptivity. And when that begins to fade, it often reflects something much larger happening beneath the surface. Circulation, nervous system regulation, hormonal resilience, inflammation, stress load, pelvic guarding, the simple absence of enough safety and nourishment to prioritize eros. And this is why it matters so much. Not because sex is the only expression of vitality, but because the body's erotic responsiveness is often the first place that this fullness disappears. And yet one of the reasons that people stay disconnected for so long is because medicine has trained us to think in fragments. For example, one doctor, they look at our hormones. Another looks at pelvic pain. Another addresses fertility. Another addresses dysfunction. Someone else focuses on anxiety, sleep, digestion, or recurrent infections. Every symptom gets placed into its own specialty, as if the body experiences itself in compartments. But the body doesn't live that way. The body experiences desire, blood flow, stress, hormones, relational safety, inflammation, and nervous system tone as one ecosystem. And this is why I focus so deeply on cohesion, because we want one cohesive system, mind, body, spirit. When someone comes into my clinic, I'm not only listening for whether they want more sex, I'm listening for whether the body still knows how to soften, whether the pelvis has become a place of unconscious guarding, whether the nervous system has forgotten how to come out of defense, whether pleasure has become something the body no longer trusts itself to receive. And that is a very different medical conversation. Let's take a deep breath together. And then there's this cultural layer that we rarely name. A huge part of why sexual vitality gets deprioritized is not just busyness. It's also the taboo that modern society still places around sexual health. People can openly talk about their sleep scores, their supplements, their workout routines, their digestion, their stress, even their therapy. But the moment the conversation turns toward desire, pleasure, dryness, numbness, intimacy, or the reality that they miss feeling connected to their body, the whole tone changes. Suddenly, it becomes something private, something maybe even embarrassing, something selfish, something that they should be able to just deal with. And that shame runs deep. Many of us were never given a language that made sexual health feel intelligent, safe, and medically relevant. So we wait. We minimize, we rationalize, we tell ourselves it's just stress, it's just age, it's just the season that we're in. And sometimes it is. But sometimes the body is saying, I no longer have enough reserve to prioritize my erotic life. And when shame lives in the body long enough, it becomes physiology. It becomes the guarding, the dryness, the lack of blood flow, the years of self-abandonment, the loss of ritual, the absence of touch that isn't goal-oriented. And this is why reclaiming sexual vitality is not just about sex. It is about making time for the parts of your life that teach the body it's allowed to feel erotic. Time for good sex, yes, of course, but also time for the candle, the bath, the oil on your skin. Time for the slow touch that doesn't need to become anything. Time for self-pleasure as ritual instead of afterthought. And time to let the pelvis remember that life is not only about output. Because a turned on body does not emerge from constant urgency. It emerges from spaciousness, from circulation, nourishment, from safety and presence. And this is why I believe so strongly that sexual vitality belongs in the same category as sleep, nourishment, movement, and nervous system care. It is not extra. Sexual vitality is one of the clearest ways the body tells us whether it feels safe enough to open, nourished enough to respond, and alive enough to receive. From my lens as a doctor of Eastern medicine, this is the medicine of cohesion. The heart, the hormones, the pelvis, the blood, the jing, the nervous system, and the meaning you assign to desire all need to be in the conversation together. Because when they are, people don't just experience better, more fulfilling sex. They experience more creativity, a stronger sense of self, of purpose, of meaning, a more stable cycle, deeper intimacy, better fertility, more confidence, more joy and play and turn on, a renewed sense that their body is somewhere that they actually want to live. And this is why this work matters so deeply to me. And if listening to this episode today made you realize how long this part of your health has been living at the bottom of the list, well, this is exactly the work we do inside the Turned On Clinic. Through my in-person sessions in San Diego or my private remote sessions, together we restore the cohesion between the nervous system, your hormones, pelvic vitality, circulation, and erotic desire. Because sexual vitality is not extra. It is one of the clearest signs that your body still remembers how to feel fully alive. So let's live turned on together, because this life is a really unique, beautiful gift. Thanks for listening to today's episode of Quantumly Kinky with Dr. Veda. Until next time, stay turned on.